$50,000 obviously makes a big difference.
And then you accepted a Soros scholarship for $50,000 when you didn't need it.
Well, you know what the fact is, Mehdi, is $50,000 did make a big difference to me back then, and anybody who has...
Obviously, of course. I mean, I'm gonna, like, this is just a guess. I'm gonna throw something out here. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I think if you didn't already have $450,000 salary that came in large part due to a hedge fund, as in you were just getting dividends, it would have meant more. Like someone else who actually needed that $50,000 scholarship because they don't have anything.
You say you are anti-identity politics, anti-affirmative action in a party that hates the Soros name, yet you accepted a Paul and Daisy Soros scholarship at law school that was specifically set up for the children of immigrants. It was an affirmative action scholarship, and your defense for that is that you didn't have the money to pay for law school, even though you'd already made over $1 million at the time and made another $2 million.
My defense of that is somebody gives you a merit scholarship at the age of 24, you take it. At the age of 24, somebody gives you a merit scholarship, you take it. I didn't say I didn't have the money. I said at a time when I had a lot less money than now. $50,000
you said exactly I didn't have the money, Vivek. You keep forgetting your quote. You said, when I didn't have the money.
So Mehdi, I've made this really easy for everybody. And I did this in the early weeks of the campaign. I released 20 years of tax returns.
Yes, you did.
Something that no presidential candidate, let alone somebody who's successful in business, has done. I challenged Democrats and Republicans alike, including the Biden family, to do it.
And we looked at them,
you know what?
Vivek.
I released it so that you could look at them, so we can have an honest conversation.
Much. And I appreciate that.
The funny thing I've
learned,
I
do appreciate that. It's something Trump should
learn
from you.
I think that transparency is important.
Look,
so
it's
already open and everybody can see it.
Exactly. We have 2009
But the fact of the matter is, you know what I would advise every 24-year-old should take
2009 and 2010, you made $750,000. You had the money to pay for law school. You didn't need a Soros affirmative action scholarship that you now criticize.
I mean, none of this is worthy, but if you think it is, let's get to the detail. That was actually the first big piece of money.
Anti-affirmative action.
Now, a lot of people have been playing this whole thing. It goes on for 20 minutes, by the way, and just never stops. It's this level of intensity the entire time. In terms of, like, maybe Mehdi Hasan is one of the last people in fucking mainstream corporate journalism, because he is working for NBC at the end of the day, who's willing to do this shit. This is what you're supposed to do. If you bring on Vivek, he's going to come onto your massive platform and try to use it as a fucking, you know, platform. What a surprise. He's going to get on there and try to get as many points as he can get in, you know, promote his brand, promote his campaign, and that's what he's there to do. So you should be completely prepared, if he's willing to do that, with actual facts. And the fact on the ground is he got a $50,000 Soros scholarship to be able to go to law school. The thing was, did he need the $50,000 to be able to go to law school? And was he really coming from this modest means? Because do you remember Vivek at the very end of the presidential debates when he was like, I didn't come from riches. I didn't come from a silver spoon in my mouth, all right? I had a working class family and I had to struggle every day to have what I have. They're all lying. They're all lying to you. And there's nothing wrong from being, like, it's not your choice. You can be born into wealth. That's completely fine and normal and valid. Just don't lie. Why lie about it? Why make up this thing so you can just appeal to the common man and be like, hey, you all probably work really hard and life sucks. Well, I too did that, but because meritocracy is real, I worked hard, life sucks, but I made something of myself. Be like me. I'm a hero. And it's like, well, no, you were taking advantage of a system that was in place to be able to help people who may have needed a minority scholarship to be able to get that leap in life, and you didn't need it, but you took it anyway. And the evidence is right there.
Well, you took a scholarship for immigrants.
I'm anti-affirmative action.
So why'd you take a scholarship for children of immigrants?
Which falsehood would you like me to address? The financial one or the one about my views on affirmative action? Because I can go in whichever order you'd like.
On
the financial piece of it. Not at the time that I had applied for the scholarship that fall.
Yes, you did.
That December.
Yes, you did, Vivek. This is awkward for you because you did. I've got the tax returns in front of my face.
No, it's not awkward for you. Yes, on December 31st, when the application for the scholarship was that October. Mehdi, you're wasting your time on childish details in October of that year when I applied for that scholarship. And it was, well, guess what? The bonuses that a hedge fund pays, and it's a shame that, again, you don't have to be an expert on this, but if you're going to spout out, you better know something about it. People pay at a hedge fund the bonuses at the end of a year. And on December 31st, that's when I...
Neat. That sounds fun. I wouldn't know. I don't have a hedge fund, but that sounds awesome. So you just get cash. It just shows up. Say, plop. oh, look that, oh, $100,000 in my account. That sounds neat. Cool.
I was paid. I applied for the scholarship that September, and I did not grow up in a wealthy family.
Vivek, you made more money the previous year.
I made $200,000 pre-tax or whatever it was.
No, you didn't.
And
no,
you know
didn't.
what?
Hold on. No, you didn't. You're now selling flat. In 2009,
you have my tax returns in front of you. I don't remember what I made in 2009.
In 2009, you made $650,000. In 2010, you made less, $450,000. So the argument that you only made the money pre the scholarship, Oh, so now we're bringing tax into it. We've been using gross numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vivek, you're wrong on this. Go back and check your tax returns. You made $750,000
makes a big difference.
And then you accepted a Soros scholarship for $50,000 when you didn't need it.
Well, you know what the fact is, Mehdi, is $50,000 did make a big difference to me back then, and anybody who has...
Obviously, of course. I mean, I'm gonna, like, this is just a guess. I'm gonna throw something out here. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I think if you didn't already have $450,000 salary that came in large part due to a hedge fund, as in you are just getting fucking dividends, it would have meant more. Like someone else who actually needed that $50,000 scholarship because they don't have anything, let alone, like, yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, Vivek, that to you, it was more valuable back then than it would be today because you're making way more cash today than you used to make back then, but you were still making an obscene amount of cash back then. If it's like, well, I had a bad year. If you look at 2018, 2019, I mean, like the year before I'd made $750,000 that one year, but then the year afterwards I only made $450,000. You made $450,000 fucking dollars in a year off your fucking hedge fund? Fuck you. You don't get to stand there and do this entire, like, oh, I come from modest means. I come from a worker family, you know? We had to struggle every day. No, you fucking didn't. You not only didn't need to struggle, you took advantage of systems that were in place for people who do. That's what's fucked up.
A few $100,000 in the bank is going to take $50,000 without strings attached.
Midnight.
Take the scholarship.
Thank you.
But my question for you is, why on earth are you as an
where there are 15, thank you for the tier 1. Lance, how are you feeling? Excellent. I feel great. It's wonderful to see fucking Vivek squirm right now.
Intelligent person interested in politics, obsessing over a 24-year-old's $50,000 scholarship.
I'm interested in truth,
beneath
Vivek.
you.
We have a country to fix. That you wear. And I'm interested in truth.
And Mehdi, that's why I released 20 years. Mehdi, that is why I released 20 years of tax records. Tell your friends in the Biden administration to do the same thing.
The whole thing is excellent. I don't have time today to go through it all, but like I would highly recommend if you just want to see Vivek squirm the entire time, it's just like fact after fact after fact after fact, and then like him having to like, I'm sorry, but this is a journalism. I know Mehdi Hassan got a lot of like fucking flack from weirdos like Li Fang. What the fuck is Li Fang? I don't understand. Where do you position yourself ideologically? If Vivek is one of the candidates who has said, I don't support the war in Ukraine. Is that it? Like, blanket, doesn't matter what the rest of his policies, thoughts, fucking the shit he says, nothing matters? At that point, it's like, oh, no, that's our guy. Just like, oh, yeah, well, he said he doesn't support the war in Ukraine, so, like, the rest of his policies will fall into place, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. Have you seen the shit that he's saying about trans people? Because, oh boy, is he going hard into the entire trans anti-fucking scientific hysteria right now, being like, oh, there are but two options for every single human. You are XX or XY. There are no differences. That's not scientifically true. It's not at all. There are tons of variations. There's XXY, XXX. There's tons of different fucking conditions you can have that will actually suppress testosterone, and you'll grow up looking like, oh, a biological female. Like, he is just spouting transphobic nonsense. That's part of the fucking parcel. You can't just take the one thing you like and then all of a sudden think, oh, well. But he did say he doesn't want to support the war in Ukraine. So, I mean, there's that, right? He must be a pretty decent dude.
Forbes on the cover.
The pieces of misinformation from opposition research. I could have sold shares in that subsidiary Alzheimer's company, but didn't. So the person who was hurt by that was me.
Hold on. But you say this a lot, but you did sell shares in Roivant, and you made $37 million.
And Mehdi,
$37 million.
Mehdi, I think you owe it to your audience. Mehdi, I think you owe it to your audience to be accurate. That is shares in a different company, not Axovant. And those shares that I sold are worth, and those shares are worth dramatically.
Ramaswamy's claim that he came from, quote, no money clashed with prep school upbringing. Ramaswamy, whose parents were a lawyer and a psychiatrist, already had a stock portfolio when he graduated from an elite private high school.
Well, Mike, why don't you say this? Join me in making a commitment that on day one you would pardon Donald Trump. I'm the only candidate on the stage who had the courage to actually say it. That is how we move our nation forward.
I don't know
and
why
turn the
you
page
assume
forward.
that
That's
Donald
exactly
Trump
right.
will be convicted of these crimes.
You should be able to make a commitment. The same justice system that was this
Vivek,
corrupt.
here's the difference between you and me.
Yeah, I'm not a professional politician. That's the difference. Who can answer a question?
I've actually given pardons when I was governor of the state of Indiana. It usually follows a finding of guilt and contrition by the individual that's been convicted. So, look, if I'm president of the United States, we'll give fair consideration to any pardon request. But if I may, you know, it's not about looking back at January 2021.
It's the fucking, we've already seen this.
More today. So I would have made more money had I held on to those shares. So don't believe what the opposition research purveys through the media.
You would have been, hey, come on. I know it's kind of wild that I made $37 million by doing this, kind of just like a run and cut operation on a pharmaceutical company, but I could have made more, lots more. All right. I wasn't greedy. Okay. I capped it at 37 mil.
Opposition research, we looked at your tax returns, which you very kindly have released.
Yeah, exactly.
And you made
I voluntarily released because I want to be transparent.
You made 300 grand in 2014 on capital gains. In 2015, after the IPO of this AXA van, you made $37 million in capital gains. Yet others didn't make that kind of money.
After Mehdi, give me a break. After Roivant, the multi-billion-dollar business that developed 40-plus medicines, yes, I sold shares in that business. If I may actually
a lot of which didn't
allow
work,
you
by
to
the
know
way.
how I made my money, developed 5 FDA-approved therapies that are now FDA-approved today.
After you sold
one
the
of them is a life-saving therapy
FDA
in
approved
kids.
when you were CEO,
Another
were
one.
they?
They were FDA. Actually, over the time that I developed them, we took them all the way through phase 3, and then we did a $3 billion deal that actually
they were approved a year and a half.
That's what you got to do. Don't let him run his fucking, like, he's got a script. He wants to get it out. He wants to be able to look good. That's the entire purpose of being here. He knows he's obviously going to have a confrontational experience on NBC. So he's going to get in there and be like, well, the truth of the matter is that I've actually really helped society a whole bunch by doing a whole bunch of great things. Here they are. No, you didn't. You're still lying. You just made monies. You wanted to make more monies, and you were good at making monies. Why not go with that one? That one's the truth. The truth is that you wanted to make a fucking cool ass profit, and you did it. So I guess, hey, you're an entrepreneur.
Half later, after you sold the company,
so Mehdi, I'm not going to fault you for not knowing the first thing about biotech because that's not your job. But getting through phase 3 is the final stage of clinical testing before you hand in the application. Yes, my company did a $3 billion deal that actually did make money for those shareholders. And so, yes, I have built Roivant's a publicly traded company, nearly $10 billion public company today that I built as the sole founder from scratch as one of.
Shouldn't we applaud Vivek for releasing these documents? I think like that's what the bare minimum. Does he get some snaps? Sure, he gets some snaps for releasing his tax returns. They show that he's a massive piece of shit and is actually lying about why he does a lot of the things he does. And if he's coming forward and being like, I actually came from a humble and poor background. I was only able to attend school thanks to my hard work. And it's like, actually, you took a $50,000 Soros sponsorship. That's what you did. And you did that in a year where, according to your own tax returns, you made $450,000. That's unusual. And how did you make the $450,000? Looks like it's from a fucking hedge fund. That's like, so why did you need the $50,000 if you were making $450,000 already? Again, from a hedge fund itself. Like,
several companies that I've built. So yes, I have a business record that I'm proud of and will equip me to lead this country.
You mentioned stage 3 trials. The Alzheimer's drug failed it after you did a lot of touting of it. You say 99.7% failed. You never said that at the time. Do you have any regrets about how you hyped that drug?
I did say that.
CEO of Roivant said this week that you hyped the drug. Do you regret hyping it?
We did not hype the drug. To the contrary, actually, one of the things that I found
this week.
Well, I can't speak for what is or isn't. I haven't read any article that.
But all politicians will have the same problem he has. That's just not true. But also, then what? Not call them out for any of the shit they do. Like when they do a bad thing, just be like, oh, well, before you criticize the bad thing that he's done, you should actually just acknowledge the great things that he's done by being transparent, by releasing his tax returns. Again, something that I'd say all politicians should be doing. But hey, he did do it. So that's more important.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This show is produced by amazing people like you, and if you want to help us out, please consider donating over at patreon.com/theserfs. The show is made possible thanks to Amazing Fletch, Anna Loves Riley, Ariane McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Doug Cady, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Laminia Panza, Matthew Scarborough, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Pappy, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby K, Sir Nickus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Demo, Tech Tink, Trevbot EXE, Words Greenwood, and not to mention all of the amazing and fabulous people you now see before you.